In this video, we'll be hunting some pennies, as well as seeing if we can make some progress to the Penny Hunt and Fill album. Mainly we'll be looking for wheat scents from 1958 or older, also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, errors or varieties, or any other cool things we can find, as well as setting aside all the copper we get, and seeing how much we can fill up the copper jar. When I picked up my boxes this week, I normally pick up 2 boxes, both of them were uncirculated, and I went to another bank to trade them. I was only able to trade one, so we only have 1 circulated penny box, but hopefully I'll be back with some more circulated pennies to add onto the video, make it a 2 or 3 box hunt, depending on what we get. And I don't see any enders in this box, so I'll have to look for some good finds from inside the rolls. So let's start the hunt on the first box of the video, and I'll bring you back when we have our first find. Well, just opened the first roll, and the hunt's getting off to a good start because right in the middle of the roll, I see the edge of the first wheat scent of the hunt. First roll wheat scent, always good sign, and it's going to be a 1958 out of Denver. Just opened roll number 13. We're going to have a couple of finds in this roll. I see the first Canadian of the box right there, and then a couple coins in, I see an edge of a wheat scent that actually looks like it's pretty nice. Pull out the Canadian first, not sure when it's from, haven't looked yet. It's just a 1977, but it is the first Canadian. And this wheat scent, yeah, it's definitely in nice shape. Probably going to be from the 50s, but hopefully it's one we don't have nice so it can upgrade the album. Let's see. And it is just a 1957 Denver. I think the one we have is already nicer than that, but it's cool to see a nicer wheat scent in the box. Just opened roll number 14, and I see the edge of the third wheat scent. It's actually going to be one from before 1940. I already see the date there. Looks like a 1936 out of Philly, which it is. Great to see a wheat scent from the 30s. We do already have this one for the album. It's a very common one, but definitely great to see a wheat scent from the 30s. Just opened roll 18, and I see the edge of wheat scent number 4 for the box. Not too bad so far. Hopefully the box can continue to do kind of well. And this one's going to be 1941 out of Denver in decent shape. Roll number 20. We're now up to 5 wheat scents because I just uncovered another one. This time we have 1944 from Denver. Roll 26, just a few coins in, and I just uncovered the 6th wheat scent of the hunt. This time it is 1953 out of Denver. Roll 28, we have another wheat scent for number 7 for the box. Definitely on a good pace to get 10. This one is 1951, minted in Philly. Just opened roll 37 and laid out the coins, and I see the edge of wheat scent number 8 near the front of the roll, right here. And this one's going to be 1958 from Denver. Just opened roll 44. We're going to have a couple of finds in this roll. We're going to have the second Canadian in the box, only the second one, and another wheat scent right there, which is going to make 9. Again, only a second Canadian. Usually get a lot more per box, and this one is going to be a 1964, which is a young head. It's a pretty cool find. And the wheat scent is right here. This is the 9th one of the box. Only need one more to make double digits. And this one's going to be a 1946 out of Denver. First penny box has been hunted, and even though we didn't get 10 wheat scents, it was still a pretty decent box. Did only end up with 9 wheat scents, but we did get a pretty decent 57 Denver, as well as one from the 30s, 1936 out of Philly. So even though we didn't get 10, still a decent box for wheat scents. Only 2 Canadians, definitely a lot less than I usually see, but one was a 1964 Younghead, which we'll definitely take. And then one other thing I pulled aside is this pretty grease-struck shield scent. You can see that on the reverse, a lot of the lettering and design around the edge is missing. It is a 2019 Denver, perfectly normal in the obverse. It's in pretty good shape too. Don't normally pull stuff like this aside, but I noticed it. It's a pretty extreme example, so I'm going to keep that one. So it's a pretty good first box, but definitely going to add 1 or 2 more boxes on this video, depending on what boxes I get. So I'll be back when I have 1 or 2 more boxes to add. I am back with a second penny box to add onto the hunt. And this box does have a wheat scent ender right there in roll number 15, so it's definitely a good sign for this box. Has been a little bit since I've hunted a box because I was getting uncirculated pennies for a while, and then I did go on a trip, but I am back hunting a penny box, finally adding a second box onto this video. I've had this penny sitting around for a little bit, so I'm really excited to get into it, get back into hunting some pennies, and I'll start hunting box number 2, and I'll bring you in on the first find of this box. Just opened roll 7 and flattened out the roll. And besides the ender, we have the first wheat scent of the second box right here. And it's going to be 1958 out of Philly. Roll 14, just opened the roll, and I did notice we have a Canadian. I think it's the third Canadian out of this box, and I already looked at the date. Bring you in because this is going to be the second young head of the hunt. This one being in 1963, second to last year. It's another pretty cool find, and next roll is that wheat cent under, so I'll bring you in once I have that roll opened. Just opened roll 15, which was that wheat cent under. I did finally get the album back out, just realized I forgot to do that, so I apologize. Has been a while since I've hunted, like I said. But anyways, I did just open the wheat cent under roll. Don't see anything else right away. Here's the ender. It does have some damage on it, but it is the second wheat cent of the box. It is in 1951 from San Francisco. Roll 23, we're going to have the third wheat cent for the second box. It has been a slow start, but with the wheat cent ender, I did expect more. We might just have to add a third box onto the video, but we'll see what happens. This third wheat cent of box 2 is 1944 from Philly. Roll 32, and I just uncovered wheat cent number 4 for the second box. Has been a pretty slow box so far. Probably going to have to add a third box onto this video after this one. This wheat cent is in 1958 Denver. Just opened roll 41, and we're finally going to have 5 wheat cents for box 2. Again, been a very slow box. Probably going to add a third box on after this one. Do have a wheat cent edge right here for number 5 for the box. This one will be 1944 out of San Francisco. Roll 44, just uncovered another wheat cent, so this is now 6 for the box number 2. It's another one from the 50s, 1951 from Denver. Just opened roll 46, and at least box 2 is heating up near the end because we have another wheat cent in this roll, and that's going to make 7 for the box now. So we're right here, saw the wheat here, and this time we're going to have 1946 from Philly. Roll 49 of the second box, and as I said, it's definitely heating up near the end. Now up to 8 wheat cents for the box, most of them coming out of the last 10 rolls, which is pretty interesting. It's just another 50s, 1957 Denver, but it's great to see the box heating up a bit. Last roll of the hunt, and I am going to end the hunt after 2 boxes because the second box really did heat up in the last 10 rolls. Now up to 5 wheat cents in those last 10 rolls and 9 wheat cents for the box. That ties box number 1. It's just another 50s, 1957 out of Philly, but it was definitely fun to see the last 10 rolls be so hot. Both penny boxes have been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up with 11 1959s, 23 estimates, and 40 2009s. Foreigns, we ended up with 8, with all of them being Canadian, including a couple of young heads, which is good to see. Just a 63 and a 64, but again, good to see those. 4 1960D small days, which is a lot for a hunt, and they are all actually in the first half of the second box. Very weird distribution. Interesting that they're all so close together. Pretty cool to see those too. And also another thing I pulled aside of the first box. Don't usually pull aside minor grease strikes, but this one's actually a pretty major one on the reverse, so pretty cool to see that. It's perfectly fine on the obverse, 2019 Denver. Plus it's in pretty good shape, so I thought might as well keep it. Wheat cents next. We did pretty well for both boxes. We ended up with 9 per box, so 18 wheat cents total. All common 40s and 50s, but we did get one from the 30s, which is good to see. Just a 1936, already have the album, of course, pretty common year, but cool to see one from the 30s. And also did get a pretty nice 57 Denver as well, so pretty good on the wheat cents, although we didn't get double digits for either box. We got pretty close. Now, for the copper, did pretty average for the 2 boxes. Good amount of copper, almost filling up the jar, as we usually do, so it's good to see that amount of copper once again. So, now I'm going to go through the finds. Not sure if there's going to be anything for the album, but we'll double check. And I'll bring you back with an update of the album once I've done that. Just finished going through the finds and updating the album. And as expected, no additions of course, getting pretty hard to add any coins this far on into the series. But we did have one upgrade, which was a good sign. Just a slight upgrade on the 1962 Denver Memorial Cent, just a few less marks on it. But at least we did make some progress in this episode. Although there are no super exciting finds, the boxes are still pretty good, producing a good amount of wheat cents, and of course, as always, it was still a fun hunt.